Let us explore how 99% of people don't know the basics of stress meditation. Uh-oh, I think I made a boo-boo with my, something weird's going on. Let me try to fix this bad boy. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm going to hit delete. And I'm going to hit insert. This device. That's what I should have done before, but I got confused. Because fatigue makes me stupid. How about you? Let me know in the chat window. Does fatigue make you stupid as well? Or is it just me? Am I an epidemic of one? There we go. Okay. Well, now that I've got that in place, allow me to entertain you with a small ditty on my schnozzophone. Oh my goodness. Ah. Okay. What I'd like to do now is tap button 14. And we're going to chant about stress together as a team. Of course, I need to push the right button. Here we go. Contrary to the ravings of 1001 self-help gurus, personal coaches, and con men, the experience of stress is not an indictment. Ask an evolutionary biologist and they'll tell you there are stresses. Some are circumstantial, some are physical, some are interpersonal, and some are mental. No stress or dukkha is not the smoking gun proving that we believe in a permanent or independent self, that we're arrogant, cowardly, or faithless. Our visceral response to stress evolved as an evolutionary mechanism in response to peril to keep us alive. Ooh, I think that's an editing opportunity. Please bear with me. I'm going to quit like a bunny. I'm going to hit cut and control enter and delete. And, just, I guess, cut. And paste. Let's see if this fits. Ooh, that doesn't fit. That should fit. Copy. Oh, right. Let's try this again. Our visceral response to stress evolved as an evolutionary mechanism in response to peril to keep us alive. To paraphrase Dr. of philosophy Neil deGrasse Tyson. Yes, this would be good. It could feel like the universe is trying to kill us. And biology has evolved mechanisms to respond to the danger appropriately. For life forms born without a stress response typically do not live long enough to reproduce and pass on their genetic traits. No sentient being is a stranger to the stresses of not getting what they want when they want it, not keeping what they like for as long as they please, and enduring that which they do not want. Birth is stressful, illness is stressful, even dying is stressful. Since stress from the petty to the existential is more of a rule than an exception. The wise develop strategies to deal with it, circumstantially, physically, interpersonally, and mentally. This is why the Buddha taught meditation. Let's tap the home button. And now let's begin. And now, look like a bunny. I'm going to tap button 5. It is Luke Skywalker. Friday evening. Come, let us meditate like a Jedi after 30 seconds of housekeeping. This is Lama Jigme Gyatso of the Buddha Joy Meditation School. For more than 30 years, I've spent about 8 hours a day, almost every day, studying, practicing, mastering, and reverse engineering the teachings and techniques of each school of meditation so that I can become your nerdy, neurodivergent guide to nirvana. Welcome, my friends, to Meditate Like a Jedi, which is made possible due to the generosity of viewers, just like you. Okay, let's see. Yes, I wish to tap button 9. And I'm going to tap this button now. All right. Oh, that's weird. So, here's the essence of mindfulness. Each time we silently and mentally recite the demonstrative pronoun this during our inhalation, our sympathetic nervous system wires us to vulnerably, passively, viscerally, randomly, and fleetingly notice mind's antics. You know, perceptions, like sight, hearing, seeing, feeling, tasting, smelling, and the like, including emotion, intention, cognition, recollection, and imagination. Now let's explore the essence of meditation. Each time we silently and mentally recite the one-syllable verb ease during our exhalation. Our parasympathetic nervous system wires us to physically relax and mentally release that which we noticed during our previous inhalation, as if that which we noticed was now fleetingly less tantalizing, less defining, and less permanent. Bearing that, so now, before we meditate, allow me to remind you. Oh, I guess I skipped something, which would be quite lovely. So, quick like a bunny. So we've come to the first of 5 mindful crease counting meditations. Let's rest the great knuckle at the base of our right. Instead of that, let's start here. Let's explore the 3 pillars of Bengali crease counting, beginning with the right hand. Over the span of 12 inhalations, we could advance our thumb. We could advance our thumb in the following manner, beginning with our little finger. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Now let's come to the second pillar of Bengali crease counting, our left hand. We could when we multiply the 12 inhalations by 4 sets, or rather by 8 sets, then we wind up with 96 inhalations. And we can keep track of those 8 sets on our left hand in the following manner. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 sets of 12 inhalations each. We come down to the third pillar where we play with both hands at the same time. So let us rest the great knuckle at the base of our right little finger, upon the tip of our left little finger, palms up in our lap. Whoopsie, I'm going to hit button 9. Doing so could gently invite our real or imagined subtle energies to automatically coalesce in the bladder region of our lower abdomen. So before we practice the essence of mindfulness and meditation, allow me to remind you. The moment you have a specific question about Buddhist chanting, Buddhist philosophy, or Buddhist meditation, do not hesitate to type your question in great detail in the chat window. All right, so I'm going to click OBS. I'm going to tap button 14. And now I'm going to fiddle about with the word for a moment. Please bear with me. Let's see. File, save as. VERSE. That should do it. Let's hit save. Excellent. And now I shall saunter over to button 14 and tap in this one. Let's go over here for a moment, see what's going on. Excellent. Close that back up. Not really close it. Okay, here we go. Let's set that for 36. Okay, if the first noble truth was the pervasive nature of suffering, or more accurately, stress, then the second noble truth is its cause or actual exacerbation. So let's hit Control Enter and go up and see how well that fills the screen. Okay, let's go one more and hit 12 and see if that might not do it. Let's go over here. Excellent. Okay, that'll work. Evolution has gifted us with an open dopamine-oriented system in our underbrain that rewards for procreation with fleeting feelings of pleasure. So I'm going over here, and I'm going to hit, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to make this a 12. And I'm going to copy this. Now I'm going to reduce 1 and see if that fits the screen. That works. It also rewards for finding warm when it's cold, shade when it's hot, water when we're thirsty, food when we're hungry, and rest when we're weary. Why? Okay. I don't think that'll fit. So let's see what happens if I reduce this to 12. For all these things keep us alive long enough to pass on our genetic traits. Pass on our traits. And that is of primary concern to our genes. The puppet master behind the scenes. Let's go over here and hit paste and reduce 2 and see if that fits. It does. The religious folk sometimes describe the primary drives of this dopamine-oriented reward system as pushing, pulling, and clinging. Going to hit this button. I'm just crass enough to prefer the 5 F's. When we're exposed to any thing, being, or phenomena, deep within our viscera, we seem to ask, when exposed to any thing, being, or phenomena, deep within our viscera, we seem to ask, should I fuck this, feed on this, bite this, flee from this, faint before this, or faunt over this? Oopsie. Okay, let's increase the size to 36 points and continue. Yes, this mechanism aids in our survival, but a life defined only by survival is rather shallow and unsatisfying. You see, we also have an oxytocin-oriented system in the basement of our brain that rewards cooperation with feelings of fulfillment. So I'm going to hit paste and remove one space and see if that makes it fit on the screen. Okay, it appears to. When this system is our default mechanism, life is pretty sweet. But we sometimes get stuck in our dopamine-oriented system, and life becomes as Thomas Hobbes insisted, solitary, poor, nasty, brutish, and short. In his third noble truth, the Buddha offers us liberation. But liberation from what? So I want to remove 2 spacers and then see if this fits okay. Whoopsie, that was really wild. Let's try that again. But liberation from what? From the tyranny. Whoopsie, did I? From the tyranny of our dopamine-oriented survival impulses. Freedom from its role of tyrant. And instead, its relegation to the role of mere tool. Harmless, benign, and at times even useful. This is why the Buddha taught meditation. Control home. Okay. So, I'm going to tap button 9 and return us to our meditation manual. Welcome to the second of 5 mindful crease counting meditations. Let's rest the great knuckle at the base of our right ring finger, upon the tip of our left ring finger, palms up in our lap. Doing so could gently invite our real or imagined subtle energies to automatically coalesce in the navel region of our mid-abdomen. During each time we silently and mentally recite the demonstrative pronoun this during our inhalation, we could vulnerably, passively, viscerally, randomly, and fleetingly notice mind's antics. Each time we silently and mentally recite the one-syllable verb ease during our exhalation, we could physically relax and mentally release that which we noticed during our previous inhalation, as if that which we noticed was fleetingly less tantalizing, less defining, and less permanent. Come now, the moment you have a specific question about Buddhist chanting, Buddhist philosophy, or Buddhist meditation, do not hesitate to type your question in great detail in the chat window. Let's practice. Together let us chat in this thing's dreadful cure that exacerbates stress. All right, whoopsie, there's an editing opportunity. And here's another one. If the first noble truth of the pervasive nature of suffering, or more accurately, stress, then the second noble truth is its cause or actual exacerbation. Evolution has gifted us with a dopamine-oriented system in our underbrain that rewards for procreation with fleeting feelings of pleasure. It also rewards for finding warmth when it's cold, shade when it's hot, when we're thirsty. Oh, I forgot a word here. Water when we're thirsty, food when we're hungry, and rest when we're weary. Why, for all these things keep us alive long enough to pass on all traits. And that is of primary concern to all genes, the puppet master behind the scenes. The religious folk sometimes describe the primary drives of this dopamine-oriented reward system as pushing, pulling, and clinging. Objects crass enough to prefer the 5 Fs. When exposed to anything being or phenomena, deep within our viscera we seem to ask, should I fight this, feed on this, fight this, flee from this, faint before this, or fawn over this? Yes, this mechanism aids in our survival, but a life defined only by survival is rather shallow and unsatisfying. You see, we also have an oxytocin-oriented system in the basement of our brain that rewards cooperation with feelings of fulfillment. When the system is our default mechanism, life is pretty sweet. But sometimes, oopsie, here we go. But sometimes we get stuck in our dopamine-oriented system and life becomes, as Thomas Hobbes insisted, solitary, poor, nasty, brutish, and short. In his third noble truth, the Buddha offers us liberation, but liberation from what? Liberation from that tyranny of our dopamine-oriented survival impulses. Freedom from its role of tyrant and instead its relegation to the role of mere tool. Harmless, benign, and at times even useful. This is where the Buddha taught meditation. Let's see, I get to, let's see, hit shift. No, I don't. This one, and then shift and this one. Control home and save. Let's see, which button do I want to click? Let's click button 9. Welcome to the 3rd of 5 mindful crease counting meditations. So let's rest the great knuckle at the base of our right middle finger, upon the tip of our left middle finger, palms up in our lap. This face is so greasy. When we do so, we could gently invite, or I should say doing so, gently invites our real or imagined subtle energies to automatically coalesce in the heart region of our chest. Each time we silently and mentally recite the demonstrative pronoun this during our inhalation, we are wired to vulnerably, passively, viscerally, randomly, and fleetingly notice mind's antics. Each time we silently and mentally recite the one-syllable verb ease during our exhalation. We are wired to physically relax and mentally release that which we noticed during our previous inhalation. In fact, that which we noticed could feel as if it was as non-graspable as a vast, empty void. Now, any good English teacher will remind us that a simile is only as useful as it is relatable. So we have to ask the question, what? What is a real-world example of a non-graspable, vast, empty void? And the answer is right before us. How about the illusion of the infinite azure sky on a bright and beautiful cloudless morn, which, although could be tantalizing to the eye, is non-graspable to the hand? Together, let us practice right now, but do remember, the moment you have a specific question about Buddhist chanting, Buddhist philosophy, or Buddhist meditation, do not hesitate to type your question in great detail in the chat window. what I'd like to do now is revert to the chanting. I'm going to tap button 14. But first, I'm going to futz with word. File, save as, and let's enter. So quick like a buddy, I'm going to adjust OBS. How do we transcend stress's control over our choices, utterances, and deeds? The Buddha's Eightfold Path. How do we transform our raw survival instincts from being our tyrant to merely being our tool? The Buddha's Eightfold Path. What about the Holy Grail of enlightenment itself? What if enlightenment was really the mastery of the Buddha's Eightfold Path? But what is mastery? As a little child, I found the tying of my shoes to be a daunting task. But after what seemed like a great amount of time, tears, and repeat instructions, I finally got so good at tying those sneakers that I could do so spontaneously, habitually, easily, and effectively. The same held true for potty training, dental hygiene, and bicycle riding. Likewise, we can so master the Buddha's Eightfold Path. Whoops, I think that's the wrong button. Let's try that again. The 7th and 8th folds of the path, the 7th and 8th folds of the path are mindfulness as well as meditation. And when practiced correctly, they are the key to the path. Mindfulness and meditation could be the engine that turns the metaphorical wheels of Buddha's enlightenment machine. When practiced authentically, mindfulness and meditation could calm our amygdala, the seat of anxiety and aggression, and stimulate our anterior cingulate gyrus, the seat of empathy. This is why the late Tulku Thondup insisted that the highest love was not the result of focus or analysis, but rather the spontaneous and uncontrived byproduct of mindfulness and meditation. The significance of this cannot be overstated, I think is better. Let's put there. For loving kindness comprises 50%. Whoopsie, that was unintended. 50% of the Buddha's Eightfold Path. Second folds. The second fold's kind intention. The third fold's kind communication. the fourth fold's kind conduct, and the fifth fold's kind commerce. Persist in the consistent, enthusiastic, and correct practice of mindfulness as well as meditation. Oops. And you can find that your choices, utterances, and deeds can flow with the effortless effort of love-centered spontaneity, which is the sixth fold's right effort. What about the first fold? The view of reality's literal impermanence, and figurative emptiness that support letting go. You could sit in mindfulness as well as meditation and strive to see permanence, but you'll never find it. Instead, you'll be assailed with perceptions of sights, sounds, sensations, flavors, and scents, ever shifting in a manner ranging from the subtle to the jarring. The internal is no different. Mindfulness and meditation rub our face in the ever-changing nature of our emotions and tensions, thoughts, memories, and imaginings. Mindfulness and meditation are the keys that unlock our mastery of the Buddha's Eightfold Path. A mastery that he taught could be accomplished in less than 7 years, 7 quarters, 7 months. Seven fortnights, 7 weeks, or even 7 days. This is why the Buddha taught mindfulness and meditation. Whoops, that's the wrong button. Welcome to the 4th of 5th Mindful Crease Counting Meditations. Whoops. Now let us rest the tip of our 4 left fingers, the tip of each of our 4 left fingers upon the 4 knuckles of our right hand. We can flip this up and rest this mess palms up in our lap. Doing so could gently invite our real or imagined subtle energies to automatically coalesce at the region of our throat that we feel tighten just before we cry. Each time we silently and mentally recite the demonstrative pronoun this during our inhalation, our sympathetic nervous system, we access the sympathetic nervous system, which is wired to help us to notice, to vulnerably, passively, viscerally, randomly, fleetingly notice mind's antics of perception, emotion, intention, cognition, recollection, and imagination. Each time we silently and mentally recite the one-syllable verb ease during our exhalation, our parasympathetic nervous system empowers us to physically relax and mentally release that which we noticed during our previous inhalation. Together, let us practice right now. please chant with me. I'm going to take a moment to insert the chanting notation just on the first page, so you can kind of get the rhythm, which you probably shouldn't be a challenge for you. It was a challenge for me, because I didn't have anything to look at. I was supposed to listen to it and pick up on it. So that was a torment, but hopefully since you'll be able to see it as well as hear it, it can make more sense to you than it did for me. I want everyone's learning curve to be much more pleasant than mine was. Okay, here we go. How do we transcend... Excuse me. How do we transcend stresses, control over our choices, utterances, and deeds? The Buddha's Eightfold Path. How do we transform our raw survival instincts from being a tyrant to merely being a tool? The Buddha's Eightfold Path. What about the Holy Grail of enlightenment itself? What if enlightenment were merely the mastery of the Buddha's Eightfold Path? But what is mastery? As a little child, I found the tying of my shoes to be a daunting task. But after what seemed like a great amount of time to repeat instructions, I finally got so good at tying those sneakers that I could do so. Spontaneously, habitually, easily, and effectively. The same held true for potty training, dental hygiene, and bicycle riding. Likewise, we could so master the Buddha's Eightfold Path. The seventh and eightfold of the path are mindfulness as well as meditation. And when practiced correctly, they are the key to the path. Mindfulness and meditation could be the engine that turns the metaphoric wheels of the Buddha's enlightenment machine. When practiced authentically, mindfulness and meditation could calm our amygdala, the seat of anxiety and aggression, and stimulate our anterior cingulate gyrus, the seat of empathy. This is why the late Tunku Tunda insisted that the highest love is not the result of focus or analysis, but rather the spontaneous and uncontrived byproduct of mindfulness and meditation. The significance of this cannot be overstated, for loving kindness comprises 50% of the Buddha's Eightfold Path. The second false kind intention, the third false kind communication, the fourth false kind conduct, and the fifth false kind commerce. Persistently consistent, enthusiastic, and correct practice of mindfulness as well as meditation. And you could find that your choices, utterances, and deeds could flow with the effortless effort of love-centered spontaneity, which is the sixfold right efforts. But what about the first-fold view of realities, literal impermanence and figurative emptiness that support letting go? You could sit in mindfulness as well as meditation, and strive to see permanence, but you'll never find it. Instead, you'll be assailed with perceptions of sight, sound, sensations, flavors and scents ever shifting in a manner ranging from the subtle to the jarring. The internal is no different. Mindfulness and meditation or faith. Let's try this. The internal is no different. Mindfulness and meditation rub off, hasten the ever-changing nature of our emotions, intentions, thoughts, memories, and imaginings. Mindfulness and meditation, the keys that unlock our mastery of the Buddha's Eightfold Path. A mastery that he taught could be accomplished in less than 7 years, 7 quarters, 7 months, 7 fortnights, 7 weeks, or even 7 days. This is why the Buddha taught mindfulness and meditation. Together let us rest the great knuckle at the base of our right index finger upon the tip of our left index finger, palms up in our lap. Doing so could gently invite our real or imagined subtle energies to automatically coalesce at the crown region of our head. The moment you have, so together as a team, let us blend the essence of mindfulness and meditation with our inhalation and our exhalation. The moment you have a specific question about Buddhist chanting, Buddhist philosophy, or Buddhist meditation, do not hesitate to type your question in great detail in the chat window. Please join me in the final chant. Whatever comes, may all beings let it... Let's try this again. Whatever comes, may all beings let it come. Whatever stays, may all beings let it stay. Whatever goes, may all beings let it go. My friends, you've taken your first step into a much larger world. If you feel that I have earned it, you could give this live stream a thumbs up. You could even help support this channel. In approximately, wrong button. In approximately 12 and a half hours, I would very much like to return to lead tomorrow's morning meditation class and group practice. And if you are as geeky as me, may the Force be with you always.